You guys ready to hear a new muffler here on the channel? We're bringing out the old school FLOWMASTER. We're getting ready to prepare to finish them up. But will the FLOWMASTERs rival the sound of the Max? I guess we'll find out by the end of the video. That sound bring me back to the 90s right there, boy.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that on Chinese.
In our last video, we modified the 3-inch Mac flow path mufflers that you can't even get anymore. And they sound amazing. But today, we're gonna take our FLOWMASTERs that we had sitting them in a pile, and we're gonna convert them to 3-inch, make them sound a little bit different. So just like we did with the flow paths, these used to be like a 2.5 inch or 2.25 inch FLOWMASTER. They were pretty small, but they're pretty much all the same size. Like as far as like the muffler itself is concerned, we're just gonna make it so 3-inch pipe will go into the muffler. So we just bought some reducers from the parts store, the little 3.5 inch stuff. We're gonna sawzall this until it's open. I'm gonna clean it off, and then we're just gonna weld it much like we did with the flow paths. And we're just gonna put them in the car and make some noise. Now, these aren't a bad set of mufflers. I mean, they got a little bit of rust inside of them, but they're not rotted out, much like the flow paths were. But they definitely cleaned out pretty quick when we started doing some burnouts. Hell yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing again. I wanna get these damn FLOWMASTERs on, just like we did with the flow paths, and see which ones you guys like the most. And by the end of the video, we'll be doing sound clips on both of them. And so you can make a comment below and tell me which one you like the most. Now, I will caveat the fact that my fuel pump is loud as shit, and we gotta feed the car corn, and that's just the way it is. So we got a couple more modifications to do on them, and then we'll get busy. But we're basically just gonna take a sawzall and chop this and get this to slip fit. Guys, if you're sitting at a swap meet, maybe you didn't know, you could take a muffler and you can convert it to whatever size exhaust that you run. You don't have to technically buy a whole new muffler. A little bit of fabrication skills and some welding, you can make your own 3-inch, 2.5, 2-inch, whatever. But these are definitely gonna sound completely different with a 3-inch exhaust. And let me show you what we're putting it in. So if you're new to the channel, this is my 1990 Ford Mustang. It's a stick shift with a budget 387 351 stroker build. And what we have is a 1 3/4 BBK long tube headers and a 3-inch xpipe exhaust that we created here in the channel. And it actually even has 3-inch tailpipes. So we're definitely gonna be able to make the 3-inch FLOWMASTERs sing pretty good, much like we did with the Mac flow paths. Okay, now it's time to set these reducers in, adapters, whatever you want to call them, and get these things converted. Got to clean them up a little bit. We'll tack weld them, kind of line them up best we can. But shouldn't be too bad. These weren't super rotted out, or shouldn't be too bad to convert these to 3-inch. And later on in the video, we'll get the black car up on the lift, and we'll get these mufflers swapped out pretty easy. I got the exhaust set up pretty simple to where you can just kind of hot swap the mufflers. It's gonna be a little bit difficult with some of the other mufflers that we did get because they're like straight throughs. They don't have like an offset to them, but that's okay. Like I said, you know, this whole video is about seeing what a 3-inch FLOWMASTER would sound like with our system here, and to show you how to convert a old school muffler to something useful, even if it didn't fit your exhaust the first time. Gas MIG, no big deal. We do all right here on the channel. 1 down, 3 more to go. Okay, so this is day 2 of our little muffler rebuild. As you can see, a little bit different. And yesterday we had mocked up 2 different mufflers. One was a 42443, which I'm pretty sure is a FLOWMASTER 2-chamber. And the other one that we did was a 942543-120. So what we're just gonna do is we're just gonna make 2 different videos with 2 different FLOWMASTER mufflers. I think one of them's a Delta and one of them's a 2-chamber. So modify 2 other ones and get it done. so we can move on. Our next video, we'll talk about the other mufflers that's coming up in the channel in the next video. I did want to make mention that I have owned these FLOWMASTERs for quite a few years, probably about 12 to 15, which makes them probably like an old version. At least you guys get to hear an old school FLOWMASTER muffler and not something that I just bought new. On the channel yesterday, we ended up pulling a couple of our mufflers out of our pile, and they ended up being different types of mufflers. So I had somebody ask me, well, what we do is we just expand this with the 2.5 inch or 2 inch or whatever the FLOWMASTER is, but to be honest with you, then you're just going to bottleneck. Much like the Mac FlowPass we did, we just converted it to 3 inch, and we had a couple sets of these old school FLOWMASTERs sitting around, so we just decided to do the same thing. Some of the other mufflers we're just going to buy in a 3 inch inlet and outlet, so that won't have to do any fabrication. 1 3/4 headers into 3.5 inch collectors, reduced down to 3 inch, which goes into a 3 inch xpipe, which goes into a 3 inch inlet to my muffler, which exits 3 inch into 3 inch tailpipes. So the whole system's gonna flow 3 inch and not be bottlenecked at all anywhere. It's gonna change the sound up a little bit because we did a little bit of rehab on these mufflers. We're about to put them on the black car over here. We're about to find out what it sounds like. So I think we're just gonna go with what I think is the chambered mufflers first, the 42443, and then next week we'll hot swap the other set on just to see what kind of sound difference they were. Since we were just going to do FLOWMASTERs with one set of mufflers, I completely forgot there was multiple sets, and we had them here, and we're just going to do them now. Okay, so these are the old Macs. When we get a chance, we're going to be welding up this brace piece that we made here, but this should be a pretty easy swap considering the fact that FLOWMASTERs are offset, so it shouldn't take us too long. Got it? See the importance of having that thing slip? Super easy. Look at that. All right, one done. So we keep using these little 3 inch van, like band clamps or whatever, because if we put a muffler clamp on here, then it kinks the metal and then it's a bitch to get in and out. You know, with what we're doing with this series, we're hot swapping these mufflers in and out. You can see this is going to take us like 10 minutes. We'll be able to fire this video up and get the car out of the shop. One of the cool things we did find in our stash of shit is we found some SLP loudmouths. So we're gonna be doing these as well on the channel. But just like the vibrants are like this as well. And we're gonna talk about it again, but we're gonna have to, you can see this is straight through. We're gonna have to make some sort of adapter fit this. I don't really know what we're gonna do, but it's gonna have to we're gonna have to figure it out. Got it, Fred? Yep. Look how easy that is. Yeah. Okay, we're about to fire it up. Moment of truth. Get it on down the lift. About to fire it up. These mufflers haven't been fired in probably 15 years. Look out for spiders. Right there, baby. raspy. And FLOWMASTERs have more, I don't know, it's got like a more of a growl to them, don't they? There is definitely a difference I can hear in the mufflers. Not much, but it's there. The FLOWMASTERs definitely have the lower tone growl to them, whereas the Max, they were pretty raspy. They were, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. They were just a little more obnoxious than these FLOWMASTERs were. The FLOWMASTERs we just put on are more of like a deep tone, so something a little bit different. They both sound off pretty good though. It's that iconic, that sound bring me back to the 90s right there, boy. All right guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Mac FlowPath FLOWMASTER 2 chamber. Definitely has a different sound. They're similar, but they're definitely different. Next video, we're gonna be doing some Fox body stuff. We're gonna do a burnout, gonna do some drive-by stuff with the FLOWMASTERs. Kind of similar format as we did the other video. We did a couple sound clips back to back and what they sound like through a full 3-inch exhaust. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave me a comment below, let me know what you guys think, which one's your best. We're gonna be doing this for the other mufflers, but if you enjoy the content, leave me a thumbs up, check out that join button, consider becoming a member of the channel. But outside of that, I just appreciate you watching. We will see you this week in the other videos. Thanks for watching.